Now, spending time outdoors is a pleasure that many of us enjoy and can rely on, but some terrain can be difficult to access for people using wheelchairs.
Yeah, but former soldier Nick Wilson has taken on this problem and has helped to develop an adventuring wheelchair, making steep hills, grassy areas, even mountains more accessible. And our reporter John Maguire has been to meet him.
If a walk in the park means things are easy, then a trip to the woods shouldn't be that hard either, should it? It can be in a motorised wheelchair, and all too often paths, steps, even grass can prove to be no-go areas. But in a workshop in Northamptonshire is a solution. This is RockClimber.
It looks like a big boy's toy. You can't get away from that, you know. But this is all about accessibility. Accessibility isn't just about getting into venues or things like that. You know, it can really impact mentally. You know, for me, it put me in a really, really dark place where I was having suicidal ideation and I was trapped indoors. And when I was adapting to being disabled, this project literally kept me alive.
It's the brainchild of Nick Wilson, a former soldier who suffers permanent chronic back pain and uses an electric wheelchair. The objective was to climb Mount Snowdon unaided, and they did it. But Nick says this concept isn't about the extremes of mountain climbing, it's about the everyday.
The irony is, after becoming the first person with disabilities to ascend Snowdon in RockClimber, 2 days afterwards, I was out and about in my own power chair and got stuck on a pavement and couldn't go where I wanted to go because there was no drop curb. So I can go up the highest mountain in England and Wales, but I couldn't get off a 10-centimetre drop curb. And that's just wrong.
And just look at this. There's no trick photography here. Nick's able to tackle this steep hill across wet grass. This would be unimaginable in his normal chair. Like Nick, his friend Isaac Harvey campaigns for people with disabilities. He knows how difficult getting around can be.
I go to my local bus stop, which requires a ramp to come out, and since it's rush hour, sometimes the buses are quite busy, meaning I have to miss a couple of buses sometimes. And then I have to get the local train station, get the assistants to get the ramp out for me, to then get to Central, to have someone to help me with the lifts to get up to station. So it's a lot of different bits, and it would just be much easier if I could just do that all myself.
Nick teamed up with engineers with a Formula One racing pedigree, but also experience working at Land Rover. Elliot has the perfect CV to turn Nick's dream into reality.
We've become quite passionate. Getting to know Nick over the last couple of years, we realised that he really struggles. Objective, really long term, is to take a lot of the technology and convert that into something that's more usable on a daily basis, and that's what we're working on at the moment. So it's something that is small enough to fit through a door, is manoeuvrable enough to move inside, but also have the capability to climb a step, climb a curb, go across the grass, and most importantly at a price that people can afford.
The team are working on adapting the wheelchair so that Isaac, for example, would be able to drive it with a controller he can operate.
Today we're outside and it's been raining, and there's the chance of it getting stuck in the mud. And if I was by myself, I could literally be stuck here for a while. By having a chair like RockClimber, I wouldn't have to have that worry or that restriction on my day-to-day activities and wanting to get out there and doing things.
Every day, everywhere, everyone. The ambition is huge, but ingenuity and determination are bringing this chair, a world first, they believe, to fruition. Despite it being a noble cause, there's still time for banter and wind-ups.
Hurry up, will ya?
You shouldn't be on the grass.
Just as friends should do. John Maguire, BBC News, Toaster.
Give it a go, Nick. Going up these stairs. Makes it look absolutely easy, down, round, and I think he's probably going to try and go down, the hill, down the stairs as well. It's just a demonstration this to show you how versatile it is. Of course, there's a ramp here, so Nick would be able to use his normal chair for that kind of thing. But it just makes everything accessible. There are no limits, are there, really? Andrew Miller, you're one of the engineers involved. What's its USP? I mean, how does it work? It's obvious to me that the wheels are big, which helps, and it's got quite a bit of oomph, quite a bit of power. But what's the trick?
I think because we've designed and manufactured everything in-house, we're not limited to the same supply chain as you normally get with the power chairs. So we've got 100-to-1 gearbox reduction, so it's got loads of torque, 1,600 newton meters.
So that's lots of kind of power, basically.
That's right.
Oomph.
That's what gets it going up the hills and up the steps. It's got independent suspension with about 300 millimeters of travel, so it handles the bumps really well. It's got hydraulics for steering, so it means that Nick's got feel for what the wheels are doing, so he's able to control it really well. And on top of that, it's got the latest automotive lithium-ion batteries, so yeah.
So it'll last a long time,
absolutely,
hopefully. Yeah. And how similar is this to your old day job as a Formula One engineer?
Surprisingly, it's the same kind of engineering problem. So you get a specification, and you work through the maths, and you go through it step by step, exactly as you would do, and then you design to the lightest, stiffest, strongest structure that you can get.
Right. And Nick absolutely loves it, doesn't he? We're just going to bring Nick in. We'll let him go down these steps one last time, and then he'll come and have a little chat to us. Elliot, how long has it taken?
2.5 years since we met Nick. So Nick arrived at our door completely out of the blue, really. So through a connection from another company we were working with. And yeah, he kind of set us the challenge to say, I want to do something like climb Snowdon. That was the challenge. And it's taken a good 2.5 years to get to that point, and there's been a lot of sort of trials and tribulations to get there. Some things have worked very well, some things have not worked so well. It is very much like a race car in that sense, you know. But it's all about the maths for us. It's all about getting those technicalities right, and we've produced what we've got today.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. And I mean, look at the smile on your face. You absolutely love it, don't you? It essentially enables you to do things you might not have dreamed of doing.
Oh, yeah, you know, look, I know there's a lot of things about the mountains and stuff, but like I said before, when I was in a really dark place before this was around, and adapting to being a chair user, accessibility is such a problem in this country. And I couldn't find anything to do to get outdoors. And I love that with being in the army. So, yeah, I say that wheelchairs give you independence. This gives you sheer joy and freedom. I think Sally said in the piece that it looks like you're fearless. You don't have to worry. Damn straight, you don't have to. What's that? Oh, no, that's fine. We'll just go over that.
Because I think, as you said in the film, you did Snowdon one day, and the next day you couldn't even go into a local shop because on your normal chair there wasn't a drop curb at 10 centimetres or whatever.
Yeah, it was. It was totally surreal. Thinking we got up Snowdon, totally no support whatsoever, and then to get stuck. It was an overgrown bramble bush in the way of the pavement, and then there wasn't a drop curb in sight, so I had to go all the way back round. It's like, these chairs are 15 odd grand, but you can't go down a 10 centimetre curb.
Yeah, it's crazy. And ultimately, very quickly, what's the dream? What's the big idea?
This is all about accessibility at the end of the day. We want to make the outdoors more accessible for everyone, everywhere. And ultimately, this is a big machine, but the guys are working on a daily one. And, you know, you just got to get out there and have some fun in life, don't you?
Yeah, good for you. Absolutely. Nick, fantastic stuff. Andrew and Elliot, thank you so much. Give us another twirl, if you wouldn't mind. And we'll we'll hand you back to the studio as we watch Nick and the guys, RockClimber, do its thing. Let's hope it really is that sort of kernel of an idea, really, something that can make a real difference to people's everyday lives. Back to you two.
Look at that. Took him a couple of
Incredible.
seconds. Well done, Nick. Thank you, John.
I
Lovely
love that.
stuff.
It's about having a little bit more fun in life.
Absolutely.
Let's do that for sure.